Hold on, I gotta probably turn off this music.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Sub 2 Club channel. Today we have James Pack. We have two cars to show you, but mainly we're interested in the Sub 2 car, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself before we really get into the car.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is James Pack, and yeah, I'm part of the Sub 2 Club. And this car right here was the first car ever to be a part of this Sub 2 club that at Buttonwillow is such a it's like the benchmark, you know. It's a huge thing. So
For sure. What year is this car?
this is a '08 BMW M3 e92.
Okay.
And it's a DCT model. It kind of had a lot of options on it when I first started out, because it didn't actually plan to get here.
Right.
It wasn't.
Did you buy it brand new or?
I bought it like a year old.
Okay.
For anyone's watching, like buying especially a European car like a year old, like really helps on the depreciation.
Of
you know
course,
what I mean? So yeah.
You bought this car and then you've been driving it daily, I would assume.
Yeah, at that time, it was a daily driver. I had a modest budget just to like get it, maybe to have some springs, a muffler, and I was like, you know what? That's all an M3 needs. And then a friend of mine invited me to a autocross event. It wasn't even like a tracking event.
Yeah.
It was an autocross event.
What year was that?
2010.
Okay.
So this is a 08, and I
Okay,
got it,
okay.
and I got it really early in 2010. So it was
Okay.
about a year and some months old.
Gotcha.
And I went to the autocross event, and I was like, damn, I need coilovers. So boom, try to like save. I mean, it wasn't just like throw money at it, but I had to work hard,
Right.
save some money, think about like, oh my God, I'm gonna eat this type of food to like save this money and like get coilovers. Everything was nickel and dime.
You first autocrossed it. And how did you get into the whole track thing?
Okay, so so when the friend and I went to the autocross event, we started to look up like Buttonwillow,
Right.
and then when you go to the Buttonwillow website, there's something called like a performance driving clinic,
Okay.
where you get to go there and you're paired up with like a driver that will kind of teach you how to drive around Buttonwillow. So it's like a really super cool introductory. So it kind of made like the first track day not seem so like, oh my God, I'm going into like foreign territory.
Right.
So yeah, I did the performance driving clinic with this car. There's no timing, so you don't even know how fast or slow you are. I'm guaranteed you're pretty slow. But you learn the basics of like track etiquette, which is really important. You know, track etiquette is what basically makes tracking a enjoyable event, because you guys or everyone's like doing something with their baby, whether the budget is big or small. It is to them, you know, very important. So learning that etiquette was super important, and then it made going into like different track events like super smooth.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So after the first track day or clinic, you got the bug, right? You're crazy into this tracking thing. So tell me a little bit about that. What were you shooting for as far as lap time goes back then, and like, what did you do to make it faster, and how did you progress as a driver?
Let me go back, because I think when I was first tracking this car, it was probably around 2011.
Okay.
Something around there. Yeah.
Oh, that's already quite a while ago.
yeah. It's been like 10 years. So this car's been through a lot. It's been through some good moments, some tragic moments at the track where, yeah, man, you know. But okay, so going back, 2011.
Yep.
Went to the first couple track days. It was all about going with friends. I would never go alone. I would only go when the friends would go, and that's what made it fun.
Yeah.
You know, because you track like 20 minutes, and then you're like chilling for an hour and a half, 2 hours. You know, you're waiting. So hanging out with the friends was that's
the best time, right?
Exactly.
You talk about all the stuff that's going on with your life. I get you. Yeah.
So at that point, we kind of were able to meet some friends at the track that had like faster cars.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you just kind of go, hey, what's up, man? Like, what's up your car? And
What kind of laps are you?
You're all like super nerdy, you know. And that person ends up becoming sort of like your guiding
mentor.
Right, whether they decided to or not, right?
For sure.
So they're doing that, and then you just kind of learn about parts. So the first thing that I thought that the more parts you throw in the car, it just automatically gets faster, you know. So that was like one thing that I learned back then. It's like, oh no, it's also the driver.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's super
sure.
important. Yeah.
So James, why did you choose an E92 M3?
So right before I had this car, I was like super into like JDM cars.
Right.
I had like a.
I still am.
Oh yeah, I still love JDM cars so much. But one of the things that was, I guess, I don't know, man. I call it trying to become older. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, but
yeah.
I thought, like, I was like, oh my god, I need to get out of because I had an Evo, Evo 9 at that time, which I totally regret ever selling, right? But I had an Evo 9 MR, and I was like, you know what? I need something a bit older and just more
sophisticated,
luxurious, and then it comes into this, man. It's like the funniest twist, you know.
Yeah.
But that was the original thing.
Okay.
It was never intended to be anything close to this. There was no intention to build it into a track car, race car, or anything.
Yeah. What is your ultimate dream car?
Okay. There's like a couple different stages to that question for me. There's like the obtainable dream car.
Well, you obviously have this beautiful 997. Okay, but
and then there's like the ultimate dream car when there's like no budget attached.
Right.
And you know, after getting into kind of like the German car world and seeing how it performs on the track and kind of understanding their engineering, the way the car feels. And even going from like, you know, from a BMW to a Porsche, man,
big difference.
I'm kind of really understanding what Porsches are really about.
Yeah.
And so yeah, currently, and I think the dream car always evolves, but currently it is the 918 Spider.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a great car.
that's the high budget car. Maybe one day. Let's cross our fingers, but yeah,
is
something to work for.
Or do you have multiple dream cars, or?
You know, right now it's just that
240 SX.
You know, I do actually. The cookies on the S14s. I'm like, damn, I still the way I'm like, because I think about a dream car more so as like a dream garage. Like I grew up playing Gran Turismo.
There you go.
And it was like, all right, I need a DC2 Integra Type R, I need a S14, and I need a S15. You know, I need a GTR like 32, 33, 34. So I guess it's more like that. That's like the dream garage, you know what I mean?
You're being very modest here with all these cars. Let's just go over like the overall mess of the car. How much horsepower does it make? How heavy is it? I guess those are the main things.
Sure, yeah. So the basic overall stats of the car, well, it's a V8, 4-liter V8, makes 375 at wheel.
NA,
375 at wheel. I mean,
is that
factory.
tuned?
Well, the mods are an engine tune, basically a basic filter setup, and a full exhaust.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a super reliable as long as you kind of maintain it the right way.
Yeah.
It's super reliable for the trek.
Right.
And I've put a lot of hard miles on the track on this engine, and it's been super faithful.
And this V8 is very special because it revs to how much horsepower?
It's like 8,500. Yeah, 8,000. It's like having like two like Honda engines in there.
Exactly. Yeah,
like two 2-liters.
That's incredible.
So this car is naturally a little bit heavy. Or not a little bit. It's pretty darn heavy. So factory, it's like with a DCT setup, depending on your options of navigation and all this stuff, you're looking at 3,700 pounds.
Okay.
You know, so it's really heavy.
37, yeah. That's
Really
heavy.
So this car got currently down to 3,020 pounds.
Wow.
In the last weigh-in, and so we're on a mission to try to get it down another 100 pounds. Like
100 pounds. Okay.
Yeah.
So sub 3,000 pounds. Do you think it's achievable without like spending big bucks?
I don't think it's about spending money here.
Okay.
I think it's about spending your time
Okay.
to just sit there and be like, hey, what do I really need to do to like shave off weight?
Right. And then from where? Like front or the rear, right?
Exactly, exactly. So I don't think it's always about spending money. Certain things, yes, because there's things out of my skill set that, like a good carbon doors. Yeah, like a good cage. Yeah, I'm not gonna do my own cage, you know. But yeah, certain other aspects about just things that are just getting into the car, and I think that's what makes you fall in love with the thing, you know.
Okay. So how did you lose that much weight so far?
So far, it's a complete interior strip down. It's a carbon hood, carbon fenders, but those are naturally pretty light by factory.
Aluminum, right?
Yeah. There's carbon door cards. The BBK is actually much lighter than factory. And the titanium exhaust.
PFC.
Yeah, so the PFCs, they're super lightweight, and they're like an actual racing brake system. Yeah.
Not your typical BBK.
Right.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, inside's all stripped out. There's no AC, no heater core. Just kind of the bare bones. So stripping out another 100 pounds is gonna be pretty. That's an intense. Right? I mean, gotta get creative.
Knowing what you have done already.
Right.
And this door. I guess this door weighs a little bit. Right?
Yeah, it's still an OEM door, so it has all the crash beam in it.
Okay.
So I'm like talking to a couple of places that like Carbonius does some great work for a lot of BMWs. So looking at the doors that they make.
Very cool.
Yeah, engine's pretty stock. So that's like one of the great things about the reliability.
Right.
For tracking, you want a good reliable power.
Yeah.
Suspension wise, it has JRZ RS Pros. We're still playing around with spring rates on this car, so it's kind of a fun thing to do to like mess around with the car at this point. Yeah.
Right. What do you run right now, if you don't mind me asking?
Currently, it's a 650 front spring rate and a 800 rear.
Okay.
And we're playing around with increasing more rear spring rate at this point to really play around with the car.
Slip out a little more.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is like alignment and the spring rate and all those little different combinations make a huge difference with the way the car performs, you know. Yeah. SPL arms. There's an iBox sway bar setup.
Okay. Front and rear?
Yeah, front and rear. And all the chassis, like subframe bushings and diff bushings, drivetrain bushings, they've all been replaced to solid.
What kind of battery is this? Anti-gravity? Okay, wow, this thing is tiny. Okay. How much does it weigh, do you know?
Man, it weighs like
5 pounds or something?
4 pounds or something, super light. Because the stock one actually weighs around 65 pounds.
Oh my god. Okay. It's big weight saving there.
This thing, there's usually like a bigger, kind of bulky plastic tray. Hard motorsports makes a nice replacement there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lexan?
Yeah, Lexan windows. There's not a lot of companies that make good ones, but this is racing for plastic for racing, something like that. They're based in the UK.
Okay.
And if you kind of look, they've got the whole nice OEM beaded kind of transition. You know, it's really nice. And no rivets.
Sub 2 club.
Yep, sub 2 club.
Oh, no rivets.
No rivets. So you use
just
the
bond it
OEM
on
glue. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a great alternative.
And it's a carbon roof, right?
Yeah, OEM is carbon roof. Just trying to be a little different.
Yeah. And then the rears, you have PFC too. Wow.
Yeah, PFC in the rears. I think the rear pads will last a lifetime.
Right.
I don't think I'll ever need to change the rear pads.
Wow. I know you're like T37 guy.
Yeah.
So why did you choose Apex?
So one of the things that ended up happening was I didn't know that wheels that you use purely for tracking can have a lifespan. I thought that forged means forged, last times forever.
Right.
But in reality, everything has like a lifespan.
Yep.
And the more abuse, because like someone kind of put it to me in a very understandable way. It's like you drive at 100 miles per hour and you hit a berm, that amount of pressure transferring through the tire onto your wheel, through your suspension is like millions of pounds.
Yeah.
They're gonna eventually wear. So
yep.
the TEs, I had like 3 sets of TEs for the car, and after I think 6 years or so of constant tracking, we're talking about like maybe 2 to 3 times a month.
Yeah.
Man, started busting out. So different alternatives came about, and I wanted to definitely try different styles as well as different brands, because BBS makes great kind of alternatives within the same price point. Apex are super affordable. Titan 7 makes great ones. So yeah,
it's beautiful too.
I'm a fan of this like kind of OG motorsport style wheel. Especially on like a BMW. I'm just a fan of that. Yeah.
Cool.
It's hard to get away from JDM roots.
Yeah. And 118, does that have any meaning to you?
So that's my birthday.
Oh,
January
okay.
18.
Wow.
But it's, you know, if you're old enough and you remember those pager days where you used to have codes, like you know who you are.
Yeah.
It's like 118. That's
118.
you,
Okay. That's your call sign. Recaro, what is it? The SPG Pro?
Yeah, with the Hans.
I love these seats.
So like, at a certain point, getting faster is great.
Yeah.
But being safe, having safety, super important. So having a proper roll cage, roll bar, seat harness setup, whatever that might be. Because like I was saying earlier, we're traveling fast, 100 miles per hour in the turn sometimes. So.
Tell me a little bit about the KMP steering wheel setup.
All right, so this steering wheel is pretty special because number one, can't really get them sourced here. They're made specifically, I believe, in Germany, Europe, somewhere. Okay. And these are magnetic shift paddles that they would use in like they're kind of like racing,
real race car.
Like club sport cars. And so I have a friend who used to actually own a club sport GT4. Wow. And their paddles were like so satisfying to click. And I think at an M Fest or something, there was a car with a KMP, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta get one now. So that's what ended up happening.
That's beautiful. And these connections obviously
so it's
go
a quick
into
release, so you can kind of get in and out of the seat. Like normally, when at least for myself, I've learned that when you're tracking, you sit actually a lot closer to the wheel than you do when you're street driving. Right. You know, there's just better control and better movement. So getting the quick release was actually important to kind of getting in and out of the seat. For weight savings, I don't have any slider. So the seat is just fixed. In a fixed position. Okay.
Awesome. And then I see the aim dash. Yeah, the aim dash.
That was purely to like just be kind of cool.
Like actually, we all need that, right? Yeah, we all need that.
Well, it's great for data and it's great for seeing telemetry because instead of having a lot of gauges, I have water temp, oil temp, pressure, AFR, diff temp, speed, freaking lap time, like everything just shows up right there. So it's really kind of cool to have, but it's me being, you know, freaking Gran Turismo boy.
Does that link up to your stock ECU, or are you running?
Oh, it can. It's, so everything's connected to its own individual sensor. So the great thing is, if you want to just do something new, you just go to the AIM site, get that specific new sensor, and then wire it up, and it just kind of goes in. Yeah.
And who tunes your car?
Tune. So the motor tune is through Epic Motorsports.
Epic Motorsports.
But JMP, Jarek at JMP, he does all the actual dyno tuning application himself. And,
awesome.
Yeah.
And what is that Garmin there for?
Oh yeah. So that Garmin, that attachment. So I like fiddling with just like kind of like what's new. And Garmin has a new catalyst.
Oh, you have that?
Yeah. Oh. Dude, that thing is badass.
Yeah.
So
do you like it?
I love it.
Okay.
So there's a little camera right up here.
Okay.
And then once you attach the Garmin thing to the receptor, the camera's attached. Like it makes it really nice. It's 4K, it's super high res. Oh, and the great thing is like you can just pull the tablet off at the track, watch your video. Actually tells you where to go faster. It's kind of cool.
Great. And a roll bar, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't. 4-point. Yeah.
So the roll bar was at a point where this car was actually being driven on the street at the time. And it recently made a transition into like full race car.
Okay.
So one of the next big steps is getting the cage to come all the way to the front. And then getting fully gutted doors, because then I'll have door bars at the time.
Gotcha. Carbon trunk as well?
Yeah, so the trunk is carbon. Man, it's hard to save weight, so like
Yeah.
try to take off like trunk hinges and anything we can.
Looks like titanium exhaust.
Yeah, these are custom made through Wisecraft.
Awesome.
Wisecraft Fabrication.
Yeah.
And they did a axle back full titanium setup. So they make titanium, you know, mufflers for this car. They're very pricey. You know, like Akrapovic or something. Akrapovic.
Yep.
But if I don't know, I don't really kind of need those bonus points.
Yeah.
For a track car, so
Yeah.
kind of makes a lot more sense going this way.
Awesome. You still have the stock antenna.
Yeah, it's like there's no way to fill it.
And that kill switch, is that aftermarket or is that linked to your stock ECU? Do you know?
Yeah, that's aftermarket.
Okay.
And so it kills the battery and fuel.
Wow.
Yeah, so just in case. So it's kind of cool. So like when the car sits, because it has such a small battery, having that kill switch just lit it. Lets it kind of chill. I'll keep the battery on a tender.
Okay.
But yeah, if anything happens on the track, you know, unfortunate things, then
Yeah.
hit that and you're good.
And this car is DCT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Beamer World 6MT shifter.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and I somehow saw it in like a post on like M3 post that someone put it on. And I was like, I'm gonna do that just purely because I was bored.
Still has a stock e-brake handle as well. So if you ever decide to go drifting, you can. Broadway. OG.
The Broadway mirror is something that I love because I don't actually use my rear view mirrors on the track. The Broadway mirror is so broad that I can see enough to see my blind spots. So it's great. I only have to look in one spot to look at both places. It's efficient for tracking.
Yep. And then APR, are these custom or?
They're kind of like off the shelf GT4 mirrors. I think they're called GT4. And what I did was, you just kind of have to make a custom made receptor. So I got I bought carbon plates. On like Amazon. And then just cut them with a Dremel and
did a really good job.
Yeah, it's good enough for a track car. Yeah.
STC.
Yep. Good track events. Tons of track time, right?
Great guys. Yep. What else can we talk about here? I think we pretty much covered the car. Full carbon.
Yeah, you gotta get creative at a certain point. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I love your emblem. We gotta show the emblem. So this is a decal. I actually did the same thing on my Civic after seeing this because I thought this was so cool.
You know, and it's inspired by Porsche, right? Because on their RS, so on the GT3, it's the actual badges, but on the RS, they charge you more for a sticker. So learning from the Porsche crew,
trying to save like, I don't know, 10 grams, right? But it's cool. It's cool. I have the sticker on the Civic as well.
You know, and that's why it's a passion.
Yeah.
You know, who else would go to that detail? Someone as nerdy as us, right?
It's extreme. Yeah. And nobody notices.
Exactly.
And this switch here is a kill switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
The same switch.
Okay.
So one I can reach and then one someone else, like some other person can reach.
Let's go over some of the questions, James.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the first question I have is, what's your favorite track and why?
My favorite track. Right now, and it has, I guess, has always been Button Willow.
Okay.
The thing that I realized about Button Willow, why it's my favorite track is because it's like the ultimate
time attack.
It's the ultimate time attack. Leveler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could have tremendous power.
Yeah.
And shitty suspension. Or can I say that?
Yeah.
Really bad suspension, right? And you can be fast at certain tracks.
Yeah.
But at Button Willow, you can't. Your car has to be set up in a certain way. That's why having being able to sub 2 at Button Willow, that's why it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my favorite track.
Awesome. If you could go back in time, would you do anything different to this car? Or would you not even pick this car? I don't know.
You know what?
I mean, I see a E46 parked there, so I don't know.
Yeah. So this is my first BMW I've ever owned. And it's the first M I've ever owned. At that point, right? So, again, the plan was just to have this be like a cool looking street car.
Yeah.
That you just pull up like a nice restaurant and kind of have that.
Yeah.
And that's really it. But the freaking track bug hit. And that's the thing. I guess that's why we're here, right? So I think whatever car you're in love with, that's all that matters.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you getting it to the point where I think your passion is what drives it forward.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So would I have chosen a different car? No.
Okay. Anything different?
Yeah. But here's the thing. This car went through it went forward, and then
backwards,
and then forward,
and
then back, and then forward, and then now it's back here.
Yeah.
So if any of you guys follow this car, it used to have full aero, racing slicks. It looked kind of, if you can imagine,
a little bit different,
more aggressive than this.
Yeah.
And then I hit a wall.
Yeah.
I couldn't get any faster.
Right.
And that bugged me.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way I like to do things, and the way I guess I was always taught, was if you want to improve, you got to go back to the basics.
There you go.
So, aero off, street tires,
and
then trying to just improve from there. And at that point, if I put on the aero back on, then I can do what I want to get into the new club of the sub 50 club.
There you go. You were almost there though.
I was 0.2 off.
What was so your best time is 150.2?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was so close.
It was so close.
Okay. Well, I'm right there with you. I'm at
She's been through so much. I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so she has I think 78, close to 80,000 miles.
Okay.
And I would say 50,000 of those are purely on hard, full throttle, because and here's for anyone that's a track head, is you beat your car.
Oh,
and you are actually amazed at the engineering of how that car can perform.
Yeah.
Man, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Because you're at high RPM most of the time.
Yep.
And you're doing, laps after laps for 20 minutes, right?
Yep.
So it's high RPM for 20 minutes. And that's pretty amazing.
Oh,
like you said.
That's one thing that we didn't talk about. There's a really big cooling package on the car. So lap after lap after lap, there's a transmission cooler, engine oil cooler, power steering cooler, upgraded radiator. And
the vents.
These look really cool.
Yeah.
But they actually work.
Yep.
Vents out tons and tons of heat from the engine bay.
Yep.
Before all of those upgrades, I was never able to do more than 3 or 4 laps at Button Willow in the summertime.
Wow.
3 laps. Your navigation system will tell you you're starting to overheat. With these upgrades, and you can do them to a street car.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, you can do 20 laps in the summertime. Consistent, no overheat.
Would you? So for people getting into E92s to track, what's the first thing you would recommend? Radiator or oil cooler or transmission? Which one comes first?
If you have a DCT,
Uh-huh.
I would recommend and the DCT cooler. And for any M3, the engine oil cooler is really important. The radiator's fine, probably later on.
Okay.
You know, power steering. If you start going a lot, you'll, everyone knows the power steering boils over.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And if you guys saw earlier, there's like a little paper towel, not a paper towel, but like a little towel wrapped around the
cap.
Power steering.
Yeah.
That's just to absorb overflow.
Yeah.
But even though I have a cooler, sometimes it still does that.
Who helped you with this build?
All right.
And how long did it take you?
This has been a living organic evolution.
Yep.
It's like a child.
Yeah.
This car's my child.
Yep.
All right. It started off as what was it called? Jerez black. Then it was wrapped matte gray. Then it was wrapped chalk. And then painted Grigio. And then now this color. So it's been through a lot. It's been through tons.
Well, you're an artist too, so you like playing around with colors, right? Yeah.
I'm a designer.
Yeah, designer. Sorry. Yep.
And I love. It's like a canvas. This seems like a canvas.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about. You know, there's evolutions to this. So.
Who's
who's involved?
Yeah,
so
who's involved?
In the beginning, all the way to the end. Let's just say, man. There's a shop from back in the day called Platform AG. They did.
I remember that. Yeah.
They did a lot of original kind of like track street build help with this thing. That's when it had like an auto power in it. Some like reclinable Recaros.
Yeah.
It was like right in between street and track.
Yeah.
EAS did a lot of work to like the subframe back then, and they did my rod bearings, which is a big thing. You know, BMW. What I was saying earlier is like it's reliable if you take care of it. Rod bearings on this car. The throttle actuators. Other than that, it's this thing has been pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And then when it got into like really getting into motorsports. Trinity Autosports did tons and tons of work getting it to where it was here, and then JMP really kind of took it over from there, getting it to kind of like that evolution to where it is now. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
There's been a lot of people.
Then obviously Beamer Challenge, right? You guys are very in close relationship with Beamer Challenge, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean Beamer Challenge is where I kind of met more people like me.
Yeah.
Right? That are like super into this stuff with their BMWs or M3s and whatnot. So they've been a great resource to just keep the community together.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why I first got into it. Right. It's like you're going with a friend.
Yeah.
And
making new friends.
Yeah, making new friends.
Lifetime new friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What does it mean to you?
All right. So, man, Sub 2. Sub 2 was this mythical. Okay, so when I first started out, right, like you're hitting like 228 lap times, and you're like, dude, I'm so fast.
Yeah, exactly. I was there. We were all there, right?
We're all there. You know, you're like skidding out your tire, and you're like, oh my god,
oh, I'm drifting. Yeah.
We've all been there, right? And the 2-minute mark has always been this mark that has been like, I don't know. It's like running a certain lap time in a mile or bench pressing a certain amount of weight.
Yeah, it's like a 10-second lap, right? 10-second car. Yeah.
So when you hit a 2-minute lap time, that meant number one, you don't luckily just do a 2-minute lap time.
Right.
You know what I
So
mean?
it's not only the car, but it's also the driver,
exactly,
right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it takes the car to go, you to go. And it's a time that kind of, you know, you can kind of wear with some honor.
There
Honestly,
you go.
Yeah.
And when was the first time you did a Sub 2? And which car?
Okay, so the first time I did a Sub 2 was in this car. It was, man, I think it was right around let's say like 2017 or 16.
Okay.
Yeah, right around there. And the only reason why I would sub 2 was because, okay, so I would go and I would just keep trying to go harder.
Yeah, yeah.
But it just doesn't work that way
Right.
sometimes.
You
right?
gotta be more smooth, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is I took a ride with my friend who's faster. So I jumped in his car. He took me for a few laps. He's significantly faster than I am.
Yeah.
So I was like in intermediate group. He was like
Advanced.
advanced group, and he was so fast, and I was like, whoa, dang, this is how you go.
Yeah.
And then so when I jumped into my car and did my session, I kind of copied what he did. You know. And that's when I hit us up too.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, learn from other people.
Last question. What things about life do you learn through cars? This is a really important question.
Yeah, man. Dude, cars has taught me tons about life, and it's the basic thing that I learned is that. So I started off with, you know, back in the day with like a 92 Civic, trying to get just some new speed springs, or like they're like $180 back then, and I'm just like, damn, how am I gonna get money for this, you know? And it always became a reason to work at something, at least for me. Call it material or call it whatever, but the passion for cars needs a fuel, and that fuel for me was to try to work hard and you know, do something with my life that could sustain some income. You know? Not waste money on stupid things, but be like, oh no, I could do the same with my car. Other people might view that as stupid things, but hey, it ain't their life, it's your life.
Right,
you know?
right.
So that's what I would say. I learned a lot about cars, and so yeah, the car collection, you know, it grew over time. And you know what that does? It kind of tests you as a purist to be like, all right, shoot, I have to actually take care of these. You know, so it grows your responsibility, and yeah, I think if you guys all work hard, like, you know, what wouldn't be achievable? You know? So, yeah, straight up.
Thank you so much for that. And obviously, you're doing really well in life because you have one of my dream cars sitting right there. So yeah, let's just go over this car a little bit, just kind of quickly, because I mean, it's not a track car, right? I mean, if I owned it, I wouldn't track it because it is way too clean and nice.
It's a track inspired, I guess. I'm just a track nut in general, but
there you go.
So with this car, it's a 997.2 GT3.
What year?
I think it's 2010 or 11.
Okay.
2010.
Okay.
And it has a 3.8, but it has some, you know, nice suspension on it.
JRG, I assume.
Yeah, there's JRGs on it.
Damn.
There's some E88s. It has the steel brakes.
Steel brakes. Okay.
Yeah, so the OEM steel brakes instead of the carbon ones.
Okay.
And
did you have to convert, or was that option?
Yeah, it was actually originally a carbon and switched over. Yeah.
Oh, it was switched over. Okay. Wow, you have the same steering wheel as I have on the Civic.
This car, man. I love the sparkle wheel, especially because the way it feels with the leather.
Yeah.
And I like the color combo on this thing is the whole car is kind of like this black, red, and white. You know? So there's some exterior accents that are a little bit red. And, yeah.
It's a beautiful car. Obviously, you see JRZ through there. Roll bar. Is that stock roll bar, or
that's a GMG roll bar?
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Ren Scott makes some really cool those brackets.
Oh yeah. I see them, yeah. Stock wing.
That's actually, it's kind of an aftermarket company
that
makes it.
Okay.
And then there's an aftermarket company that also makes like taller risers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're really nice. It has a Sharp Works exhaust. The middle section for the exhaust.
Wow.
because it does have because it has like the GT3 RS deck lid. Right. It has a different intake system actually. The way it fits. So the regular GT3 has one inlet. But because it has two, you end up getting like the RS intake, which has like the double, so it's kind of like fitted a bit more proper. And the guys that painted the M3 also did all the paint work for this car too.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah, Horns Collision.
So that's a aftermarket one. Okay.
Yeah, this is yeah, it's like all the kind of the names are escaping me, but Technocraft.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes this deck lid. Yeah.
Has a big scoop with the kind of like a duckbill wing. That is so cool. Wow. Any plans with this thing?
It's kind of just that's the evolution point right here. Yeah.
All right, and then you have another car that we can show the viewers. It's one of my favorite car.
So this is this is my E46.
Okay.
It's a 2002.
Okay.
Kind of got it more recently, but it's kind of in its phases.
Okay. You just picked it up recently, right?
Yeah, about like 6 months ago.
Okay. And you already had BBS and
well, the great thing is that from the E92 a lot of parts switch over.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it looks like these tires were tracked at one point.
Yeah.
Big stop tag brakes.
Got some stop tags. Since I had the JRZs on the race car, getting JRZ on the Porsche. This one also has the same JRZs. God. They're just a great set of suspension.
Yeah, JRZ all the way.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a 6MT.
Okay.
If anyone's really wondering, just kind of like the thing, right? For
yeah.
car.
Yeah.
And then it has some Recaros in here.
Shit. Pole positions.
Yep. Actually, these are SPG XLs.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
oh,
SPG
okay.
XLs,
oh, yeah. I see the ears are a little different.
Some Carbonia CSL door panels.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, like all dry. So the theme with this is all dry carbon.
Yeah.
The matte carbon look. And then it'll shortly be going back over to the guys at Horns.
Oh, nice. What are you getting done to it?
So I have a bumper and some other parts that are going to be going on.
Yeah.
And then the car's just going to get kind of like a touch-up pass on paint. And that'll be it.
So clean already.
This car is really fun.
Yeah.
Very blast. JMP did also initially when I got the car, kind of did inspection and kind of looked a little bit more at the motor, and so we did the rod bearings.
Yeah.
And I think that was it. We did the rod bearings one more time. And JMP did all the work there. So. Yeah.
What about the subframe? I know that's one of the big concerns.
Oh, so yeah, the subframe was done, and under inspection it was great.
Okay.
So the subframe's good. Vanos was updated. It's fine.
Yep.
And that's it. Yeah. And the car's pretty. Man, this car's a ton of fun. To drive.
Yeah.
Ton of fun.
And it looks so nice. I mean, it aged so well. Compared to some of the other cars. Oh man, such a beautiful
to me,
car.
this car kind of represents like an important part in my past where, in 2002 I was at a certain age where I'm like, oh my god, this is the car to get.
Yeah.
Kind of getting it now is kind of fun because it kind of fulfills some fulfills some childhood dreams.
Is that why I bought a Civic?
Man, that's why I want to get one again. I miss my days, man. Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much it. James, thank you so much for taking your time today. Is there any other last thing you want to say to the audience?
I don't know. Sub 2 Club, thank you for for inviting me over here. But yeah, just keep on doing your passion, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Whew.